An Israeli airstrike in central Gaza sparked an inferno that swept through a tent camp in the hospital compound, killing at least 4 people. Dozens others reportedly left with severe burns. The Israeli military said it was targeting militants operating in the Al-Aqsa hospital compound. Local officials say many of the victims were women and children who suffered third-degree burns.
هذا خلاف الناس اللي كانت داخل النيران، انت مش قادر تسحبها، انسان يحترق امامك قدام عينك بيحترق، انت مش قادر تاخذ الشخص هذا وتحاول انك تنقذه، فللاسف طبعا اصبح رماد.
The Al-Aqsa hospital was already struggling to treat patients from an earlier Israeli strike on a school sheltering displaced Palestinians in Nuseirat. At least 20 people were killed in that attack. The head of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees says the building can no longer be used for polio vaccinations due to the damage sustained. The second phase of the campaign begins today. Israeli, meanwhile, suffered losses on another war front after Hezbollah launched a swarm of drones targeting an army base in northern Israel. 4 soldiers were killed and dozens more injured. It marks the deadliest strike by the Iran-backed group since Israel launched its ground invasion of Lebanon nearly 2 weeks ago. Hezbollah said the attack was in response to Israeli bombardment of southern Lebanon and Beirut. The European Union has condemned Israeli attacks on UN peacekeepers stationed in southern Lebanon. The UN says one of its posts was breached yesterday following recent incidents that injured at least 5 peacekeepers. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says the attacks breached international law and may constitute a war crime. Sarah Coates is live in Tel Aviv for us. Sarah, what has Israel been saying about the investigations into how Hezbollah drones were able to infiltrate its army base?
Hello there, Jill. Well, this raises very serious questions about Israel's multi-layered air defence system, really unable here to shoot down a fairly unsophisticated weapon. It's a very different story when you're talking about rockets. Generally, the Iron Dome has a success rate of around 92%, but these are a completely different thing. Rockets fly pretty high and much faster. These drones, they fly lower and much slower. They're very difficult to track. Now, the IDF has carried out an initial probe. It says that these 2 drones were tracked by Israeli radars. One was shot down, but the second then dropped off the radar and the army lost track of it. Now, this was the drone that, of course, came through the roof of that mess hall in Binyamin. That is where these Golani elite soldiers were having dinner. Many of them had reportedly left the hall, but certainly causing a lot of panic, a lot of distress on the ground. There were pictures of ambulances lining up, taking some 60 wounded people to a number of different hospitals across Israel. And Hezbollah, as you mentioned, did come out to claim this swarm of drones, saying it will continue to carry out such acts until Israel stops its offensive in Lebanon. Jill.
Well, the U.S. is saying that it is going to be deploying the THAAD missile defense system to Israel. How will this bolster Israel's defense systems?
Well, this is an extremely powerful, extremely accurate system. It is one of the best that the US has to offer. We do understand that this THAAD system may actually hit the ground tomorrow. That is according to a number of reports. Now, what it does is it engages and it then destroys. We're talking here short-term, medium-term and intermediate rockets, both in the atmosphere and outside. It has a range of about 200 kilometres. Now, it's mounted from a truck. It takes some 100 personnel who will be on the ground to operate it. And it's got 6 or 7 shots on the back of this truck. And as I mentioned, it sort of engages and then destroys. But of course, this shows a lot of concern from the United States and very concerning words that we have been hearing from Iran's foreign minister, promising to retaliate to any Israeli retaliation for that ballistic missile attack that happened on the 1st of October, saying there are no red lines with Iran defending itself. And just over the last few minutes, the foreign minister has held a press conference in Muscat in Oman. He said that they have now halted indirect talks with the United States as they await this Israeli response for that ballistic missile attack on the 1st of October. Jill.
All right, appreciate those updates. Sarah Coates there reporting live from Tel Aviv.